All right, today we're diving into something really fascinating, the ancient ritual of smudging. We're talking about a practice that uses smoke to clean something more than just a room. It's about cleansing the very energy within it.
Now think about this for a second. What if cleaning wasn't about dust or germs? What if smoke, of all things, could actually clear away, I don't know, negative feelings? Those bad vibes or that stagnant energy you can sometimes feel in a space? That's the core idea we're going to unpack.
So let's get right into it. What is smudging, really? We're going to break down exactly what's going on during this ancient ritual.
Okay, so at its core, smudging is a ceremony. It involves burning these specific bundled herbs. You've probably seen them. White sage or cedar are the most famous, and they produce this really thick aromatic smoke. But here's the key. This smoke isn't for cleaning dirt off your shelves. Nope. It's used for something called spiritual or energetic cleansing. A really cool way to think about it is like a magic eraser. Seriously. The belief is that as this smoke drifts through a room, it kind of picks up all those heavy negative feelings, stress, sadness, anger, and just lifts them away. The idea is that it leaves the space feeling lighter, totally refreshed.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because the effects of smudging are often described as working on two totally different levels, the physical and the spiritual. So on the physical side, there are actually some tangible things going on. There's research showing that the smoke from white sage has antimicrobial properties. It can literally reduce some bacteria in the air. Pretty cool, right? But the spiritual effect? That's the real heart of the practice. This is where it's all about your intention. The smoke becomes this visible tool, a way to focus on a psychological and spiritual goal, capturing and getting rid of that negative energy. Yeah, so the smoke isn't just some random byproduct of burning herbs. It's the vehicle. Think about it. You can see it, you can smell it, you can watch it move through the room. It gives you this incredibly powerful sensory thing to focus on, and that's what helps the person doing the ritual to really concentrate on their intention, whether they're trying to clear out bad vibes, invite in some protection, or just promote a sense of healing. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Let's walk through a super simple breakdown of what the smudging process looks like in action. All right, step 1, you choose your plant, like sage or cedar. Step 2, you light it safely, of course, in a heat-proof bowl. Then you start to actively waft the smoke around. You can use your hand or a feather to guide it. Now this next step is absolutely crucial. You have to open a window. Why? Because you need to give the smoke and all that negativity it's supposedly collected a way to escape. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part of the whole thing, you set your intention. You really focus on what you're doing, clearing out the old, making space, and welcoming in the new. Okay, but this brings up a really fascinating question, right? If the smoke is carrying away all this negative energy, where does it actually go? It's a good question, isn't it? You've gathered up all this unwanted energy, you've sent it sailing out the window, but what happens then? Does it just hang out in your front yard? Does it go bother your neighbor? What happens?
Well, the first part of the answer is that the smoke is basically the delivery truck. The negativity is believed to literally stick to the smoke particles. So when you see that smoke physically floating out of the building, the idea is that the negative energy is riding right along with it.
But no, it doesn't just pile up on the lawn. In a lot of these traditions, the belief is that once this energy is released back out into the natural world, something fundamental changes. It's not just moving from your house to somewhere else. The idea is that it disperses, or it gets neutralized, or it's actually transformed by nature itself.
And the analogy for this is pretty beautiful, actually. The idea is that the energy is let go and balanced out by nature, much like dirty water disappears after being poured into a river. The vastness of nature just absorbs and resolves it. It doesn't become someone else's problem. It just stops being a problem, period. So that leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. Is the real cleansing power in the actual smoke, or is it in the intention you put behind it? Maybe the real magic happens somewhere in that space where the physical and the spiritual meet. Something to chew on. Thanks so much for digging into this with us.